infinite, only infinite remains. So we have been studying this Isha Upanishad. We have come to the mantras 12, 13, 14. But then, instead of going through them, just I will give the summary of it. Because the Upanishads sometimes speak in the same strain. Last time we had this wonderful, troublesome 3 mantras, Vidya, Vidya, and all that. So instead of going through the next 3 obscure mantras, I just give the gist of it. It's a bit different interpretation, but then it's very consistent with the invocation mantra which I chanted now. So here in this 12th and 13, 14 mantras, the Upanishad speaks of being and becoming. Sambhuti, asambhuti, and then there's another word, vinasha. It's quite confusing. So it's interpreted as being and becoming. So the Upanishad has been all trying to drive this idea into us that reality is one. Purnamadha, Purnamidha. That is full, this is full. That is the transcendental reality is full. The manifested universe is also full. So this is the strain, the main reason of the line of thinking the Upanishad is trying to teach us. So being and becoming, they are one. Pure being and the world, the becoming, which has come out of it, is one and the same reality. But becoming apart from being is zero. As Sri Ramakrishna says, zero has no value until the digit 1 is added. So becoming apart from being is zero. And being apart from becoming, it becomes too remote and nullified. We, at the present state of mind, cannot experience the pure being until and unless the becoming is there. We know a conscious being. You see, she's conscious, she's alive, she's conscious. When the person dies, the body is inert. And where is that person? We haven't got that capacity, that subtlety of the buddhi to grasp this being. Well, the being can never be grasped. It's beyond grasp. So it's almost nothing. We just don't understand what it is. So it becomes remote. It's a remote reality. It's too far. So it means nothing. But when it's together, we do comprehend, we do understand. Yes, there is something. That is why generally you see people saying, we have the divine within, this consciousness within. We hold the divine. It's not we holding the divine is holding us. So the primary thing is consciousness. And the secondary is the body. But what we, at the moment, at this present state of our understanding, we know that we all hold divine within. It's actually divine is just holding us. So that's the difference. So the Upanishad is asking us, it's teaching us to conduct our life in this light of ever-present unity. The worship of the self-sufficient world is the way of the materialists. It's utter worldliness. There are people who say, we don't believe in all these things. Right? Your very existence is on that. How quickly, you're denying yourself rather. You're not denying God, you're denying yourself. So such type of self-sufficient world and its philosophy might help in some way, but in the ultimate end, it will lead to sorrow, misery. Present state of conditions in the world is a proof. It's because we lack the spiritual knowledge. We are seeing the atrocities the nations do. All this, why? This hasn't been taught. We haven't thought in these lines. And then the pursuit of pure being is not without dangerous consequences. You say, what? What is statement? The pursuit of being is endowed with danger. Yes. Only a few handful sturdiest, strong persons can ultimately land on the being. But others who are not qualified, are not capable, when we try to approach this pure being, the path of pure being, which involves inaction, nivritti marga. Instead of landing ourselves in the land of being, we will be coming back to becoming this world of useless, nothing. When unqualified, that's why in the Upanishads, so much of stress, I mean, in the Vedanta, so much of importance is given to adhikari, the eligibility, what's called as the competence. If not, it will become, Vedanta will become a way for escapism. Many have done that. I don't blame anybody. For example, you take Buddhism. Buddha was there. That personality was a great inspiration behind the Sangha. Thousands of them joined. Do you think all have the capability? No. So what happens? In course of time, it goes. The ideal falls. Shri Krishna says, I taught this knowledge in the bygone days to Vivaswan. And then in course of time, yoga nashta, the yoga got spoiled. Why? Ajitendriyanam prapya. How did the yoga become nashta? How did the yoga got spoiled? Having fallen into the hands of incompetent people, the yoga was lost. So this happens. So by the time Buddhism was finished, that era was over, India was almost in a very, very tamasic state. Everyone wants to wear a geruva and get out. That's why 1,000 years of slavery. Nobody to protect. Where are the Kshatriyas to protect the nation? All with begging bowl. I don't deny there is greatness in it, but we should remember it's not for all. The society needs strong arms to protect it. Begging bowl is not for everybody. So the Upanishads recognizes this. So it gives you combined. As long as you have the attachment, as long as you are conscious of your body, mind, world, intellect, your own ego personality, you need to put together both and then go. And if you're sincere in your pursuit, a time will come when everything will just drop off by itself. And the way to the pure being becomes very easy. It will happen. If you are a believer in God with form, the Lord himself, Nashayami Atma Bhavasto Jnana Deepena Bhasvata, Shri Krishna said, I will remove the ignorance and light the lamp of knowledge in your heart, provided you're constantly thinking of me. So when you get a deified universe, everything is deified, then the yoga becomes very easy. And so the Upanishads trying to solve the problem of worldliness and otherworldliness, outer life, inner life, action, inaction, contemplation, all this, it's trying to harmonize and make spiritual life easy for us. Speaking about, but these are the two extremes: worldliness, otherworldliness, outer life, inner life, action, contemplation. So we do not know how to reconcile. Both are imperfect by itself. Swamiji says, if a person plunges headlong into the foolish luxuries of life, not knowing the truth, he has missed his footing. He will never reach the goal. Same time, a person pursuing God, what happens? Curses the world. World is unreal. World is Maya. Oh, no, I will renounce everything, go to the Himalayas and torture myself in the severe austerities. Even that person has missed. So these are the two extremes. The human mind oscillates. So we need to be careful about it. So Upanishad is trying to bring a comprehensive philosophy. Samyak Jnana. So Sri Ramakrishna used to, in Gospel, those who have read, he always says, Jari Nitya Tari Leela. That which is Leela, the Nitya is also Leela. The transcendental, immanent, the world manifested universe are nothing but the same reality. Sri Ramakrishna was never sick of repeating. You open the Gospel, every page has this. The master was the wonderful harmonizer. He was a Vijnani. So, and Sister Nivedita, speaking about her master's message, she gives a beautiful interpretation, understanding. So she says, if the many and the one indeed be the same reality, then it is not all modes of worship alone, but equally all modes of work, all modes of life, all modes of creation, which are paths to realization. No distinction henceforth between sacred and secular. To labor is to pray, to conquer is to renounce. Life itself is religion. To have and to hold is as stern a trust as to quit and to avoid. There's nothing you can renounce, there's nothing you can enjoy. What everything is nothing but divine. So that's the line of thought the Upanishad is trying to make us understand. The next, Robert, Hiranmayena Patrena. We come to the 15th, the 4 mantras. It is about the aspirant, spiritual aspirant, who has worked hard all his life to attain to highest realization, but hasn't, not able to. So Yama is knocking at the door. He has very little time. He has realized it. So this is rather you can call a prayer for intuition. In our Vedic ages, sun was the great symbol. So here the prayer is Hiranmayena Patrena Satyasyapi Hitam Mukham Tattvam Pushan Apavrunu Satya Dharmaya Drishtaye. The door of the truth is covered by a golden disc. Open it, O nourisher, remove it so that I, who have been worshipping the truth, may behold it. So by the lid of golden orb is the face of the truth hidden. Please remove it. It's a prayer. O thou nourisher, see, portion, nourisher of the world. How well our ancient seers knew that the sun is the nourisher. We get all our nourishment from the sun. Our very existence depends upon it. So that I may see thee, who am devoted to truth. So what truth is there, But the truth is covered by a golden disc. Golden disc, why? Glittering. The very glitterance will not allow you to go and see the truth. We are fascinated by the glitter. Sri Ramakrishna says in the gospel, in the granary, there are a lot of rice kept. You know, these merchants, they know if the rats know, they will eat. So what they do, they roast the puffed rice and apply some ghee and jaggery and make, it's hard, you know, mudki, they say. It's very tasty, it's hard. So what they do, they put it in a tray and keep in front of the granary. The rats come, the fragrance of ghee and the jaggery, very nice. So this whole night they keep on munching. And Sri Ramakrishna says, in 1 kilo of rice, 14 kilos of this puffed rice you can make. So that's the difference. So the rats don't go in search of the rice which is inside. They're happy with this. So are we. So with the glitter, all the glamorous world is there. Who bothers to know the truth? Who wants to know the truth? Here we are, let's enjoy this world. It's the natural feeling of human beings. So Hiranmayena Patre. And what is that Satya? What is the Satya? Truth. God himself is hidden. The Upanishads say the person in the sun is not a human being. The consciousness within the sun and the consciousness within the psychophysical organism is one and the same. The sun is covered by a luminous disk and our Atman is covered by Buddhi. Buddhi is the covering. Ajnanena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavah. People suffer because knowledge is covered by ignorance. And ignorance is always glittering. It's always glittering. Look at the beautiful world. Who says that this world is unreal? Nothing? No. Because that glitter comes from the Atman, which is below. If that is removed, dead and dull matter. And you can't even perceive it. Without the seer, without the consciousness, nothing stands. It's gone. So, and it is so glittering. Remove it. Remove it. It's a prayer. The aspirant has been praying, and the truth that is within the sun is Saguna Upasana, which leads to Hiranyagarbha. We have discussed about this Hiranyagarbha in the Katha Upanishad and all the Upanishads. It comes because ordinary human beings, that's the thing. Very few, in a century, 1 or 2, you can count on your fingers, is the one who will have here and now direct perception of the pure being. Rest all of us have to be satisfied by going to Hiranya. From the point of bhakti, you say, we go to the Ishtaloka, Christ Loka, Buddha consciousness, Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness, Ramakrishna consciousness. This is how. Because our individual mind is there, it has not gone, and that is covered with the full ideas of our Ishta. So naturally, there is actually only one word. Devotees of Christ will perceive it as Christ consciousness. The Krishna devotees will perceive it as Krishna consciousness. Devotees of Buddha will perceive it as Buddha consciousness. Actually, there's only one. It's the color what I'm putting. If I put a green color and I look everything, when we were children, we used to get cardboard spectacles like that for 2 paisa. We would put that and look everywhere. Everything is green, everything is orange. Children. So everything looks green. So like that, because our idea is completely covered with our Ishta. It's saturated. Naturally, we feel we are there, he is there. We are going away to Krishna Loka, or Vishnu Loka, or Shiva Loka. This is from the point of theistic. But in the Upanishadic age, this ideas came after Pauranic age. You know, Hinduism is steadily, the ideas grow in Hinduism. You have the Vedic age, you have got the Pauranic age, then you have got Tantric age. Now we have got age of science. Sri Ramakrishna has to use a lot of English words. He has to be very scientific to make us understand. He has used a lot of English words. He knows even about Asiatic society, electricity, and all that. So what I'm saying is the ideas grow because Hinduism never had a centralized church. So the ideas grew. So in what was in the Vedic age, the same ideas were interpreted in a different way. Those who have read the divine play of Sri Ramakrishna by Swami Chaitanananda, it's actually written by Sharadananda Maharaj in Bengali. There he speaks the Upanishadic ages, the sages of the Upanishad became the avatars in the Pauranic age. You read the introduction to his, like, you can understand that. So that's from the point of Pauranic age, from the theistic level, I'm saying that Ramakrishna Loka, Krishna Loka, and whatever it is. But here, Brahma Loka, the Vedic sage, Brahma Loka, Satya Loka. So, Nirguna Brahman is Satyasya Satya. The pure being is truth of truth. The first manifestation of the impersonal supreme reality is the Hiranyagarbha. That is the orb, the reality in the sun. And that is covered with the luminous lid. And that lid is this Viraj. We have in the Purusha Sukta, Virajo Adi Purushaha. The Viraj. It includes everything, not just sun, the whole manifested universe, the whole of the variegated universe in one word is this golden lid. So we need to penetrate into meditation. We need to remove this golden lid. And this is the prayer for intuition. Next. So that's a beautiful word, nourisher. So even in the second shloka, Pushan ekarshe yamasurya parajapatya vyuharashmin samoha tejo yatte rupam kalyanatamam tatte pashyami yo savasau purushas sohamasmi. O nourisher, lone traveler in the sky, controller, O sun, offspring of Prajapati, gather your race, withdraw your light. I would see through your grace that form of yours, which is the fairest. I am indeed he, that Purusha who dwells there. So this spiritual aspirant has tried to penetrate into the reality. So he has the idea of the truth within himself and in the reality that he's praying for, or the God, the personal God to whom he's praying for. So, nourisher, as I said, the sun is nourishing us. Like you read in the Gita discussion, we eat sun through sugar, the food, we wear sun, everything is sun. If there is no sun, no plantation, no food, nothing. So everything is sun. Our rain, our air, the whole thing is from sun. So that's why he's called as Pushan. Poshan means one who nourishes. Pushan. Then the sun alone courses through the heavens and regulator. All the events of the life is regulated by sun, an offspring of Prajapati. And what is he asking for? The sadhaka, what is he telling? Remove the race, withdraw your race, take away, gather up all this, the effulgence, because it is so glittering that I'm not able to see the truth. So when the glitter, when the rays are taken, you see early morning sun, it's so soothing for the eyes. You can see it. And the evening sun, when all the rays are gone, we can just see with our open eyes. But the dazzling sun of the noon, no, we can't. In summer, it's scorching. So withdraw your rays so that I may look at thee, see thee. And then the wonderful, here, the sadhaka has known, at least intellectually, or he must be having a strong conviction of the truth, of the identity of the individual and the supreme. That is why he says, I'm not begging. Oh Lord, please bless me. Please be gracious enough. No, no, no. I'm not begging, because I am the reality that is in you. So it's like you have a child of the king, doesn't beg. He knows, I'm the child of the king. I'm the prince. I inherit everything. So we know our inheritance. Sri Ramakrishna says, you can demand from mother, divine mother, because you're the child of divine mother. You demand it. You have got every right. You have a share of your in the property. So we demand. So you ask the mother. You demand it. You have got every right to it. You do not to cleanse, oh, say, I am a sinner. No. That might be there, but potentially I am divine. I have that, all the potentiality that is in you. So here, there is a, what do you call, a dignity, even in asking. So he says, he recognizes the skinship, the spiritual skinship, and he exclaims in a state of exaltation, the person who is in the sun is, am I. I am that. So there is a qualitative sameness. Maybe the difference is only in the degree, not in the kind. So the next. So Vayur Anilam Amrithamathedam Bhasmantam Shariram Om Kratosmara Kritam Smara Kratosmara Kritam Smara. Now may my breath return to the all-pervading immortal prana. May this body be burnt to ashes. Om. O mind, remember all that I have done. So the sadhaka is almost reaching the end of his span of life. All his life he has been searching for the truth. He has worked on himself. Yet there remains certain things. And this constant probing into the truth of one's own existence has given him such strength that he is not afraid of death. He accepts death with all dignity and grace. So the prana, the life force, is what is there in us. It will go and mingle, become one with the Mahat, the Supreme, the Virat Prana. So here he is saying the vital forces in me are about to merge in the immortal prana, that is the cosmic energy. Then this mortal body shall be reduced to ashes. So, oh mind, remember all the positive things, all the struggles you have gone through in order to attain to this state. You see how much of work the sadhaka must have done on him. All the positive things, not in life, so many things might have happened. Don't have to bother about all the negatives. As some people, they want to unburden themselves. Instead of that, think of the body. You have done many good things. Think of them. Be grateful to life. that it has given you the opportunity to do all these good things. Even one day, if we have lived for others, that's a blessing. We need to count our blessings. Thank God for all that He has given us and help us to march in our evolution, towards the evolution. So this is a prayer. All the 4 mantras are the sincere prayers of a sadhaka who has worked on himself or herself. Then, see, the body is weak. The sadhaka's body is weak. He is understanding the life in a principle is ebbing out of him. But the mind is very clear, very alert. And then he prays for him, and he says this body will be reduced to ashes. This is a beautiful concept in Hinduism, that the body is an aggregate of the 5 elements: Kshiti, Ap, Tej, Marut, Vyom, earth, water, fire, air, space. These are the 5 materials out of which this body is made. So when they just burn the body. Why? Because so that all the elements will go to their source. It will go. So he knows it, and he is remembering all those good things that has happened to him, that God has made him to go through, all the teachers who have helped him, all the wonderful things that has happened, which has promoted his evolution. It may be a very bitter experience, but the consequence is wonderful because it has pushed me towards God. So everything becomes a blessing for the person who takes things in right attitude. The next 18th mantra. Agnenaya supatharaye asman vishwani deva vayunani vidwan yudhasma juhranameno bhuishtante namah uktim vidhena. O fire, lead us by the good path for the enjoyment of the fruit of our action. You know, O God, all our deeds. Destroy our sin of deceit. We offer by words our salutations to you. So the last prayer of a passing away sadhaka. O Agni, lead us by the good path that we may enjoy the fruit of our actions. Whatever we have done, thou knowest, O Lord, all our deeds. Destroy the deceitful sin in us. We salute thee with our words again and again. Here, Agni is the primordial divine energy that sustains this whole universe. And that energy is also in us. Fire is in us, isn't it? I told you, the body is made of 5 elements. The fire, Vaishwanara, as Vaishwanara, he is there in us. So, it's a prayer to like we say, God is Antaryamin. God is within us. He knows. True, we do not know what our past lives are, but God knows. He has been directing us. He has been directing our karma because he is karma phaladata, giver of the results of our action. He is directing. He is navigating the boat of our life, life after life, giving me all those things that are necessary for my evolution, giving the proper parents, giving the environment, bringing me to the country where I can pursue my spiritual life without much disturbance. All this comes through the grace of God. God knows what I need. I didn't have to ask. He knows my needs, and he sees to that I get everything what is needed. He is the navigator of my life. You know everything, and he's here because this aspirant has not been able to get the immediate sadhya mukti, immediate liberation, or his oneness with the divine, the jivan mukti, liberation while living. So he is keenly aware of some blemishes that are there in him. You see, a gross person will not even understand the impurities of the mind. But when we start working on our minds, even a small mistake, a small lie is enough to make us miserable. An ordinary person won't even bother to tell 100 lies. The life is full of lies. His whole life is built on that. Falsehood, true. He doesn't even care. But those who have started understanding, those who have taken up higher life, want to improve themselves. Even a small bit is enough. So this person, having traveled, journeyed all the way from amoeba to this human life, many times he has gone to the human life, enjoying all the things that the world life has given, and he is now endowed with a bit of detachment and discernment, and holding them, he has worked on it in this life, and he has come very close to reality, but he has fallen short of it. So he understands what is that? The last vestige of the ignorance and sin is ego, which is just making the distinction between this and that. So he's asking to eliminate it so that he may become one with at least Hiranyagarbha. So here a bit, I would like to speak on the concept of Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti means gradual liberation. This is a wonderful concept. But now many people don't bother for it. But in one way or the other, the concept of Krama Mukti is there with us. Because all of us, it's not that I and you today itself, we are going to realize that we are infinite Brahman. And then just like a pot breaks and the space becomes one with the infinite space, that we are going to, as soon as we pass, we become one with the divine. No, like a salt doll, we are not going to melt. We have got still the metal doll. Still we are maybe refined metal, but still. So we go to our Ishtaloka. As I said, here the sadhaka is going to Brahmaloka, Satyaloka, Hiranyagarbha. But we, as devotees of personal God, we go to our Ishta. That's a wonderful thing. I would be very happy to go to Ramakrishna Loka, but I would become one with him, one merge in him. No more different identification. The identification that I am this and such a person, that has to go. Yesterday was Ramakrishna Maharaj's birthday. Shashi Maharaj is called Sri Ramakrishna's disciple. In that last, during his passing away, he once wanted to see Holy Mother. Holy Mother was in Jairam, but she couldn't come. And then he had the mystical vision of Mother. And then he asked Girish Ghosh, the dramatic, he was a very good novelist and all that, dramatist. He asked him to write a hymn expressing his ideas. He says, gone are that painful nights, Pohalo Dukkha Rajani. It's gone. Now the sun has risen. And the Divine Mother is asking, come, my child, come into my lap. Gone is just I. See, all the problem is with this I. Sri Ramakrishna said, when will we have peace of mind? When this I dies. Ami molle ghuchibe janjal. When this I goes, then all the problems solve. So here in this place, also the sadhaka is having this I still. So he is praying so that he may feel his oneness with the Hiranyagarbha, the personal God. What happens is, at the end, End means I'm not saying ordinary dissolution, the final dissolution, the dissolution of the whole cosmos, Mahapralaya. At that time, this Hiranyagarbha becomes one with the Nirguna Brahma, the supreme reality. So ultimately, my liberation is sanctioned, granted. So this is called as Krama Mukti. This is called as gradual liberation. And then Sri Ramakrishna himself will merge for us, for our sake. Sri Ramakrishna is keeping his individuality as Ramakrishna. And he has created a world for us. But in order to attain to Sri Ramakrishna, it won't do. Any and every devotee cannot go. We have to become pure. Vishuddha Sattva, pure. Sattva Guna, not just Sattva Guna, Vishuddha Sattva, very, very pure. To become one with Sri Ramakrishna. No more identity. If not, if there is, what happens? May not be. All needn't have to become one with. See, there's like how Sri Ramakrishna says, I don't want to become sugar. I want to enjoy sugar. This is there. So if we attain to Sri Ramakrishna Loka or him, then the master may bring us next time when he comes as his helpers. Like how Balaram Basu came to as a provider. Mathurnath came as a provider, had a lot of Rajagun in him. So he became the landlord, big landlord, enjoyed the life, at the same time had devotion to the master. And persons like Brahmananda, Sri Ramakrishna called 6, what's that? What is the term? Eva perfect. What's the Sanskrit term? I forgot. Nitya Siddhas, Ishvara Kotis. So they are in the Saguna Brahman. So if the Lord wants, he can send them as prophets, as messengers, or as his helpers when he incarnates. He brings his, like Holy Mother said, Sri Ramakrishna brought Shashi and Sharat. They are from Christ's circle. They were Christ's disciples. Ramakrishnananda, Saint Thomas. Sharadananda, Saint Peter. Can you imagine? Yeah, it can happen. So when Sri Ramakrishna came, he brought them to do his work. Sri Ramakrishna sat on Sharat's lap and said, let me see how much he can bear. And Christ said, Peter is the rock on which I will build my church. See? And when Sharat Maharaj went to Rome, he went into deep samadhi. So these all shows that Hiranyagarbha, the personal God, will bring, and there are still higher souls having realized their oneness with Brahman, completely one with Brahman, and then still they maintain their individuality. Very powerful persons like Swamiji. So Akhanderghar, Swami Sri Ramakrishna says in the indivisible plane where one cannot have one's individuality. There Vivekananda had an individuality. Just imagine the willpower, so strong to have an individuality of his own, even in the realm where individualities melt away. So such great people. So Sri Ramakrishna brought one among them, Saptarishi. Come and do my work. Divine Mother's work he brought. So this is the concept of karma, Krama Mukti. And so finally, in conclusion, the Isha Upanishad exhorts us to see the divine in everyone. So when we realize the divinity in us and the world out, all moralities, all the values of the human life become spontaneous. I mean, you don't have to try to practice hard unselfishness. You become very embodiment of unselfishness because there is no self in you. You have become one. So that is the glory of realizing here and now. So coming to as theories, these are all wonderful, beautiful. But the problem arises only when it comes to practicality. Swami Vivekananda says, yes, it's very nice to hear. Noble, wonderful idea, elevating ideas. When it comes to the practice, we utterly fail. He says, we have been taught from our childhood to see God everywhere. And I go in the street, Tvam Stri, Tvam Pumanasi, you are the man, you are the woman. Everyone is God. Person is going. Then a very strong person comes and gives you one blow and you fall flat on the footpath. Then you get up. The whole blood has risen up. You lose your reasoning and with tightened fist, you're ready to blow. Oh, you were trying to see God in everybody. What has happened? Instead of seeing God, you're encountering a devil. This is what happens. So Swamiji says, then what's the point of hearing all this, listening all this? Yes, there is. Nothing is done in a day. Rome was not built in a day. So perseverance will pay. It will overcome all the difficulties. Persevere. You know, and he quotes the Aesop's fable, in which he says, a stag is showing itself, its reflection in the lake, and he's telling its young one, look at my splendid head. How strong my limbs are, how muscular I am. I can run so fast. So he's bragging about himself. To the young one is looking at his father. And then suddenly he hears dogs barking. And then he takes to his heel, runs fast. After running miles, then he gets tired. So comes back panting. Then the little one says, you said that you were so strong, but why did you run away? Then Stag says, yes, my son. All my confidence fails when the dogs bark. So when the trials and temptations come, all our faith in divinity, in the God, in everyone, all this goes off. But we didn't have to worry. Swamiji says, perseverance will pay. We have to keep an ideal. It's always good to. And he says, there are many people in the world, they have no ideal. I have seen in this, I used to go for this old age homes, very nice people. A few of them would still their brains very clear. I saw one lady, 98, 99 years old lady, very good. I wanted to talk to her something better. She asked me, can you get me Mills and Boone novels? At the age of 88, 98, she wanted to read James Bond and things like that. Poor thing, where can I get it? I have no idea of them. And I think Tilaka brought it. Now, what I'm saying is, absolutely, they have no idea. Time. And another lady, very nice, and I was talking to her. She said, yes, I don't know what will happen to me. I don't know where will I go. What will happen to me? Yes, I read when I used to go for the Sunday class in my childhood when I was 6-7 years. 6-7 years, what she learned. There ends the religious lessons. No idea of what's happening. So, because people do not have an idea, they have no ideal. It's good to have an ideal, Swamiji says. I'm sure if a person with an ideal does 1,000 mistakes, a person without an ideal will do 50,000 mistakes. So it's better to have an ideal. And Swamiji says, even if you fail a 50,000 times, make a fresh attempt. Look at the beauty of life. That's the Vedanta. Don't worry about all the lapses, the failures. They are the beauties of life. If they were in there, what is life? Where is poetry? So just ignore. Take another attempt. Try once again. And you will reach. We live in eternities. No problem. Let's be on the line. We have fallen into the track. That we will stick to the track. Maybe somebody is going in the jet train. Now so many wonderful trains are coming, or somebody may be going in a passenger train, or somebody may be walking on the track, but we are on the track. And that's the greatest blessing we have. Thank you.
So you're welcome to...
Sorry, please. I'll end up with the final prayers.
Oh, yeah, yes. I'll put that
The
up.
conclusion of every Upanishad begins with the prayer and then ends with this prayer. So let's pray that we too will have this oneness, this idea of divinity in all. Om Purnamadha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Yes, so now we have time for question, answer, discussion. Those joining us via Zoom are welcome too. Well, I'll get it started. I find that the last two verses, very poignant. I love that with that greatest transition that we face when with death approaching. And I'm getting old enough now to start reflecting on that more and more. It's coming closer, and you do wonder, with all our exposure to Vedanta, how well. I mean, we will face it. Although I can speak for some experience now. I had for a brief time last year, unexpectedly, I was facing death, and I'm kind of proud to say it was more, what do I have to do to avoid it? I had options to avoid the dying, and so I guess it wasn't as drastic as what others would be facing. But again, if you allow me just to reflect on that, I've got to say, after that experience, and I'm sure for many people this will be the case, you value life even more. So each day is like a bonus. Although I worry about that too, because I wonder whether after that I'm even more attached to life now, because I'm not taking it so much for granted.
Attachment to life, that is different from the general meaning, the ordinary meaning of attachment to life. In your case, especially, I'm saying, because in your case is now you have realized that every day is a bonus, and we prepare ourselves. That's a good. And above all that, do not worry about it. You are deathless. That is what is important. You are deathless. Instead of wondering, oh, death might come any day, it might come tomorrow. Why? I am deathless. Assert it. Swamiji says, assert it, doesn't matter. See, even if we do not have the experience of our real nature, but the strong conviction that we have got, you are creating a, what do you call, prajna samskara. You are cultivating, you are making the samskaras of knowledge. All these days we knew that we are human beings, psychophysical organism. I'm a youth. I need to enjoy myself. This is what. But now it's different. All our bases, whatever may be our path, maybe bhakti or jnana and karmi, whatever you are, but you are Atman essentially. This one thought is enough. This one thought that I am pure spirit, whether it is you have experienced or not experienced, that's different. That is different. But this very vritti, even to get a Brahmagnana, you have to create the vrittis. You have learned Raja Yoga and you know what vrittis are. The mind waves. Now we have got all the mind waves are that I'm a psychophysical organism. I have got a limb, I have got arthritis, I have got this one, I might get this cancer, this, that. All instead of that, I am pure being. I am pure being. If you can't that, I am the child of God. I am Sri Ramakrishna's child. I am the Divine Mother's child. Why bother about count the days when that fellow is coming. We don't have to worry about Yama. We'll just wait there. I'm with my mother. I'm with my Sri Ramakrishna. So we don't have to worry. Instead of counting that, let's count every hour. Soham, Soham, Soham. I am he, I am he. That which is in that is also in me. So let us, this is the positive. This is what he asked us. The sadhaka asked us, oh mind, think. Think what? Think your spiritual nature. Think of your spiritual nature. You are the pure being, or think of God, God's name. Take God's name. Remember God. God is your companion, eternal companion. Not just Brahmananda Maharaj. We are also the eternal companions. God is always with you. We have to get out of mother's womb, but we can never get out of God's embrace because he is holding us. So after 10 months, the nature pushes out from mother's womb. But nature cannot do anything. I have to be in the arms of God, the divine. Didn't Holy Mata Ajayapana Mataji show us? God is holding us like this. He's holding. If that is not there, we fall. What is Durga or what is Jagadhatri? Means the one who is holding us, one who is looking after us, one who is supporting us, sustaining us. So why should we worry? Rather, Om Kruto Smara Kratam Smara. Think of the blessings that you have got. Think of the divine. Think of your divine nature, pure. Think of God's name. Remember God's name. That's it. Yes, correct.
Oh, it's more an observation, I guess, in a way, and based on what Robert was saying. I sort of had this notion that it's like the driver and the car. When I'm in the car, I'm driving the car, but I'm not the car. And then the car can wear out. I'll go get another one and keep going. And then I guess at some point, if I actually have realization of my true self, I don't get another car.
There's no need of the car.
No need of the car.
The car is for me to go to my destination. Going to my destination is the primary thing. And for that, I need a vehicle. And I have got this psychophysical organism as the vehicle. So I keep it well so that diseases don't come. I will not pamper it, but I'll keep it well so that it will become a good vehicle. We have got in the Sanskrit, Shairira Madhyam Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. The first important thing to your dharmic life, for your religious life affairs, is have a strong body. That's very important. So to that extent, it serves, nothing more than that. So why do we need? Because we are in this body. We keep this body healthy, clean, good, so that we reach our destination. If the car goes wrong, we need to now and then go and get it. What do you do for the car? Service. So we need to do those things true. And then you have to go and get the petrol, sadhu sangha, holy company. So all this will help you. And then once you reach your destination, you don't have to bother about it. We are not planning to come back. So that's our destination. Yes, Sumati.
The Krito Smara, Kritam Smara, there's a subtle, there are two words. So I was wondering about the subtle difference between those
one
two
doer
words.
and he's the doer, Kratu. One who has done. Kritam, what you have done.
What have already.
He's telling his mind. See, he is objectifying himself. He is standing as a spiritual aspirant. His body, mind, the psychophysical organism has worked out. He has done good things, many things. So he is detaching himself and he is telling his mind, now you remember. So that's right. Krato smara, kritam smara. What you have done, you remember. That's the difference. It's a Sanskrit.
Pranam Mataji. I wanted to ask you to clarify certain things, Sambodhi, Asambodhi, and you said being and becoming.
Yeah, this is a different interpretation. I told you.
Yeah.
I'm not going. I didn't go to Shankara's.
No. I'm just asking because my understanding is when you say being is Purusha, that is individual soul, and becoming is the Prakriti, actually,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I said.
And
The
then,
nature,
yeah, that's what you
the
meant.
world.
Yeah, then
You are saying,
become divine.
you saying Prakriti.
Yeah.
I am saying becoming. The
Becoming,
world
that
belongs to
means-
Prakriti,
yes,
isn't it?
then
The
that
world
means-
belongs to
Yeah,
Prakriti.
yeah, yeah. And then become divine, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
So-
That is,
For Prakriti by itself, it cannot stand.
yes.
The Purusha is the basis, the ground.
Yes.
So if that is not there, the Prakriti can't even stand.
Yes.
It's not even perceivable.
Mm.
But you forget the ground and you hold on to the Prakriti, you will end up in merging in the Prakriti. Again, that Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Manam. Come again, go into another womb, and then again die, born, birth and death, this goes on. But
Because-
whereas when you recognize the ground, which is the pure awareness, consciousness, and you identify itself with it, you are promoting, you are doing a spiritual journey is gets accelerated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is why.
Now, the other question is the fire you said, fire in this earth, basically we do fire sacrifice, it's not. So fire is the main thing which we can.
Yes,
we
without
can-
fire, nothing can
Nothing
happen.
can happen. That is in this material world. It's not.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Fire is essential. See, for example, you cook, you have got water, you have got vessel, you have got the ingredients, everything.
Yes.
You cannot get the food. You need fire to cook it.
Yes.
So that's the essential.
But this is, I'm talking about yajna.
Yajna is also, see, here I'm not going, because this Isha Upanishad is from the
Very-
Samhita, from Samhita portion.
Commentary.
Samhita portion is ritualistic. Somehow this Upanishad has fallen. Usually the Upanishads are in the end, Vedanta, the end of the Vedas, the Aranyakas and the end portion comes. But somehow this is a portion, but that's why its language is like that.
Very.
It has got lot of ritualistic orientation or that flavor is there in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the other question is, you talk about the breath, prana, and you said that fine, samana, prana, all those things.
No, it's not. I'm not telling that.
Yes.
The life energy, the life principle, when it goes, say when a person passes away, the life ebbs off, goes away out of this organism, isn't it?
Yes.
Where does it go? It merges in the immortal prana, the cosmic prana.
That is Paramatma.
It is not Paramatman. Prana is not Paramatman. It is below. It comes in the Prakriti.
Oh, Prakriti.
It comes in the Prakriti. That is why Prana vai Satya. Esha Satyasya Satya. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Prana vai Satya. Prana is truth. But Paramatma Nirguna Brahman is truth of truth.
That's beyond this, is it?
So this prana comes within Sattva Raja Tamas. All this,
All
it's
the three
Hiranyagarbha,
gunas.
Hiranyagarbha. It comes, in our Kathopanishad we showed, isn't it? The Parabrahman, the chant. The next evolute, the first evolute is this. Hiranyagarbha, Prakriti.
Prakriti, yes.
Prakriti. So this is
Because being and becoming is the more.
becoming is Prakriti,
Prakriti.
this universe.
Yes.
Being is pure awareness.
Yes.
Yes, Kannan has some question.
Sridharaprana, it was an excellent talk. And it was funny, one of the quotes you said about getting hit in the face. And it reminds me of a famous quote by a boxer called Mike Tyson. He's very famous and he's quite notorious, but he's known for this quote that goes as, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And what I did want to ask you was, once life does punch you in the face, what sort of thoughts will help you to get back up and reset yourself?
That depends upon the priorities you have fixed for yourself. If you are, if a person is worldly and thinks tit for tat, how dare you do this? You blow. That's the reaction of an ordinary person. But a person who has is in the path of spirituality will not take the blow and go away. If he is an householder, if he's a monk, then he will have to bear it, because resist not evil is the dharma of the monk. But if an ordinary person, he has to, why did you do this to me? I'll call police. At most, the threaten has to be done. That should be there. But knowing all the way, all the time, that this person has done this because he is evil-minded, ignorant, but behind him is the same divine. This much if you have, it is like pouring water on the fire. The fire would have flared up, or it is like the leech which stings you. You put salt, it leaves. So like that, these Vedantic ideas, if you are equipped with them, so you need to his butt. Being an householder, being a man of society, we need to stand for it. If somebody comes, any fellow come and pushing me, I have to stand. But if it is a monk or a renunciate, they mustn't do that. I remember very well, I don't know, one day in the news, 2 Buddhist nuns, poor nuns, one in 80 and another in 82 years old. Some robbers got into the house. They just beat them and all and took away. I know what was the reaction of these 2 nuns. They said, our karma. This is our karma. We have got. The police was very sad and they saw that such things never happen again. They tried to, but it came in the news. But their reaction was, they believe in karma, being Buddhist. They said, this is our karma. Then why should this person come, and we are innocent people thinking of God, we are inside this. They were sitting on their cot and meditating at night, and these thugs entered the house and did all that havoc. But their reaction was that this is our karma, which is very right from the point, because they are renunciates. So they will not put the venom. But if it is an householder, call the police. Take the right action. But we don't get up and give another blow. That we shouldn't do. Especially being spiritual aspirants. So these are the 3 types of reactions that under such situations we might.
Any more questions? Yeah.
The death is inevitable for every one of us. I have seen many deaths and written many certificates also because of my profession. But many times, some of people, when they go, they are so miserable, and the others are so well prepared that they give up the life very easily. And sometimes some people just cling to the life as if there is no way to go. And some of them come up and say, okay, look, tell me honestly whether I am going to survive or not. If I take this chemotherapy, will I be able to prolong? And when they come straight on your face and ask you with the relative, you can't tell the lies, and you have to tell, look, if you want to do anything, it will prolong your life for a little while to settle your affairs, but it is not going to do. And some of them have said, look, if that is so, I don't want this, I'll go. I had the enough life. And they will go and say, you tell me when you can't. And I said, look, eventually you will not be able to look after yourself, your family, and say, okay, when you tell us to go to the nursing home, I'll go. And they go very peacefully. And there was another incident was there. The lady was in the hospital, nursing home, breathing heavily, about to leave any time. Whole family was there. And everybody thought she will go any moment. She goes in the coma, comes out again and asks Liz, I'm still here. And she was still in the full of mind and aware of what was going on. And she left peacefully. So what I have come to the conclusion, look, best thing is be prepared every day. Whenever it is going to come, come.
Yeah.
If you are prepared, then it is no difficulty. But if you are clinging to the life that this is remaining, that it's going to be done, then you are going to have the miserable death.
Yeah, that's so many. We all are on different levels. We are on different levels. So this is our reactions to this. But we should remember that it's just an exit. What is death? Death is nothing but just bodilessness. That's all. You can be very happy without this nonsense. What is after all a body? It's a heap of flesh. You know, the meat shop can chop the meat nicely and make a ball, meatball. So Asheshananda Maharaj used to say the body is a meatball. So it's just like that. So sometimes we need to reason like that, because see, we are in this body, certain amount of attachment will be there. It's normal. So other than that, to have a fear, it's not, it's unreasonable. So it is good to cultivate this Vedantic ideas. It's very good. But what I'm saying is, it's not just the good. That is the only beneficial thing. That is what you are. Why don't we stress that? Instead of saying, oh, the death will come any day, why that much of time? Why can't we think, I am pure consciousness? Just this one idea make deep impression on the mind. I'm pure awareness. One example, one practice you can do is when you sleep on the bed, you imagine yourself out of the body. Out of the body. See how that body will be. Dry, thick, soft, slow, cold. So that is how we get rid of the attachment to the body. What do you call too much attachment for the body. Inordinate attachment for the body you can get rid of. And another thing is, the monks and nuns in Christian tradition also have seen, they sleep in the coffins to make the idea. But for us, we being Vedantist, we don't have to go into the coffin, because they want RIP, rest in peace. That's their idea. Ours is not rest in peace. Once this body goes, I'll be one with infinity. So I can think of myself pervading everywhere. All pervasive. We can practice. Even it may be silly. Doesn't matter. Start it with that. Slowly the idea will sink in. And we will be benefited. The others are not being benefited. But if I see somebody, a divine in you, not that the person is going to become divine, I am benefited. I am going closer to divinity. That's the positive. Subjectively, we will be benefited. The world is not going to change. The world is not going to be, it will be the same. But I have been benefited by thinking. I have not brought the dirt from outside. I have purified it, refined it, deified it, and my mind becomes pure. That is the good thing about this reasoning and this Vedantic way of thinking. Thank you.
So our thanks to Sridharaprana ji for this series of talks on the Isha Upanishad. We're very fortunate to have the nuns here and get the benefit of their wisdom. And we will continue to do so because Sridharaprana ji will, from next month, be commencing a series of 3 talks on the Kena Upanishad. So that'll be coming up next month. We have this coming Friday night will be the spiritual evening discussion, as always, led by Gayatri Pranaji. And next Sunday, the topic for Gayatri Pranaji's talk is preparing for meditation. And that'll be followed by, I'll be conducting a guided meditation next Sunday as well. And we have donation plate, donation box up the back. And thanks to those who have joined us via Zoom and to everybody else coming out on cold winter day. And we look forward to having you all with us again next week.